Greetings and salutations. Today we'll take a look at the Axonic and Carrot amp sims from Groovelab Fx. So about a year ago I did a review on the Axonic amp from Groovelab Fx, and recently I was in contact with the guys at Groovelab Fx and they sent me over the updated version of Axonic and their brand new amp sim, the Carrot. So as far as I know, the Axonic aren't based on any amps. They're a completely unique original amp, or two amps actually, a clean and a high gain amp. And then the Carrot amps are based on a range of orange amps, which you get 3 amps. You get a clean, a crunch, and a high gain. So back when I did my original review of the Axonic, at the time I did have a few suggestions that I felt needed to be addressed. Have they addressed them? We'll have a talk about that one. So first, we'll go with the pros of the plugins. I definitely like the tones. The tones are solid as, just really well done high gain tones. I really enjoy them. As far as tones go, I would compare them easily to most other high-end guitar plugins. The interface is, well, what can you say about the interface? It's very neural DSP sort of style, which I find most companies are going for these days. It seems to be neural DSP set a trend. Everyone loved it, so now everybody's doing it, which is nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't really bring anything sort of original and new to the table. There are a couple of little things in here that I do like. At the top you have your chain, and say with your reverb or your chorus and that, you can actually drag them across the chain and make them pre-effects instead of post-effects, and that changes up the tone a little bit, which is a really good feature. It was actually really quick and easy to get a tone for my mix in the plugins. The Carrot one especially was really easy. The Axonic I had to work at it a little bit more, but I was originally going to do 2 separate videos, one for each plugin, but to be honest, they're kind of both so similar to each other that I just decided to do them both in one video. They actually, the Axonic amp and the Pumpkin amp that's in the Carrot plugin sound almost identical. You will see that at the end of the video when I run through. They sound almost like uncannily the same, so there's not that much of a difference there. I think in the crunch tone on the orange amp, which is the Carrot amp, that sounds a little bit more unique, which I really like. They both have pretty much the same stock standard cab section with a SM57 and an MD421. Is a little bare bones. I will talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So yeah, I definitely like the tones of the plugin. So to my cons, again, to the cab section, it has you can only use one mic at a time. I like to, in my plugins, mix mics, especially, 2 mics sort of thing. My favorites are a 421 and a 121, or even an SM57 and a 421, or an SM57 and a 121, just mix it up a little bit. They're my favorite combinations. But for this one, you can only use one at a time. It does have a stereo button. The problem I found is that when you put it in the stereo mode, each mic is for each side. Now I'm guessing this means that it's for, if you use it at the top track and you have a guitar on each side and then it splits it, so you use it in stereo mode. You can't use 2 mics at once, which I find a sort of missed opportunity. I really love blending mics, but if you have the 2 mics on and then you pan the guitar to the left, it will only pick up the left side. I'll show this at the end, and so you can understand what I mean. Second con is CPU usage. This is quite heavy. I was going to do a clean section in my song, the song that's going to come up soon. I like to put, when I put the cleans in, I like to put some delay, reverb on them, a little bit of chorus, but I had only 2 instances of this in there, well obviously 4 because I had 2 on the heavy guitars and 2 on clean guitars, and it chugged down my computer that hard that it was literally unplayable. I couldn't even render with it. It was causing problems when I was rendering, and I never have any problems like this before with any other plugin. I have a really high-end PC that I've never had any problems with, and when I put 4 instances of the Axonic and the Carrot, well 2 instances of each, it really chugged down my my computer. So I think CPU usage is a big thing for the company to look at. Then there's one more con. I know it seems like I've got nothing good to say about this plugin, but I really do like the plugin, or both plugins. But if I don't say these things, it's never going to get improved upon, and then I don't feel like I want to use them, being that these problems are in there. So the other problem is, and again, I'll show you at the end of the video, when you create preset or you use one of the presets in the plugin, you close down your project in, say, Reaper. I use Reaper. I'm not sure if it's only in Reaper, well, I've only got Reaper to test it on. But when you close down the project, it doesn't save the presets. So when, like, I had a lead tone on one channel, and when I'd start it up, every single time that lead tone was gone. So I'm trying to mix down my song. I'd, you know, put it on my phone or whatever, take it to my car just to reference, you know, on different speakers and stuff. Come back just to make a few adjustments, and I've got to rebuild some of the tracks again because the plugins aren't literally saving as they should be. So that's a problem. Again, I'll show you a more in-depth sort of thing about what's going on at the end of the video, so I don't talk too much here before the song. Other than that, these are definitely well-made plugins. There's just, those are the main 3 things that I think really need to be fixed for me to want to actually use this. I mean, the fact that presets that you set up in a track don't save in your DAW when you reload it again is a big thing, because if you have a lot of tracks and you've got them all set up and then they reset every time you load your project, that's going to be a problem. So that makes me not want to use it. So other than that, what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to a song using the Axonic and the Carrot amp sims. Then we're going to go over to my computer. I'm going to show you a mix rundown, show you some of the features and the problems I'm having with the plugins. I want to thank Groovelab Fx for sending these over to me, and hopefully expecting a blatantly honest review, because that's what I do. I'm not going to be a company shrill and try to you know, get more free stuff out of them by saying really positive things like some YouTubers do all the time. I don't care about that stuff. If I've got problems, I'm going to say it. Other than that, please like and subscribe and enjoy indeed. Thanks, guys. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here we are at my computer, checking out the Pumpkin and Axonic amps from Groovelab Fx. So, quick mix rundown first. We'll go over what I used. So, drums today was, I did a video on this last week. So, if I can get this to move, there we go. Drums today was the Monarch kit. Now, I know in my video I said I had a bit of trouble with the snare sound and that, but I am quite happily impressed now. I worked on my own preset a little bit, got things sitting how I like them. This is the problem with doing videos sometimes. Sometimes it's, you know, you get the program and, you know, within a week or two, you've got it out, like trying to put a video out and all that, and you haven't had enough time to sit with the program to really appreciate it for what it is. And I must say that I'm very, very impressed with this drum kit. I really like the snare sound I got going now. I ended up going with the Star RSV Brass Medium. So this is how that sounds. All right, so on that, we've just got a little bit of EQ and Y2A mid-comp 2 preset for compression. So that's my drums, bass, usual bass. Actually, I went with a different preset this time. Usually I have my own preset, but I went with a grindcore preset from Forrester Saville. What's Forrester Saville done on another program that I've done? I can't remember. Anyway, Bass Professor. I went the black, TR5 black this time, black 76 for compression. And that's my EQ curve just there. So bass sounds like this. All right, so let me just shut down my thing here because certain people write certain things in comment sections that I don't really want everyone seeing. So, okay, to the Axonic and Pumpkin amp sims. Now, from here, this is what I'll show you straight off the bat what I mean about the actually, no, what I'll do is I'll show you my tone first, okay? So, in my tone, that's my EQ curve I used. This is more guitar orientated, as in my guitars, certain guitars throw off certain frequencies I just don't like. I always have a nice cut at the bottom and a cut at the top. Excuse me. But a lot of these dips and stuff are due to my guitar frequencies. Magic Glass preset on the Y2A for compression. Okay, so this is the guitar tone. See, already getting pops. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go into my preferences, ASIO configuration, and I'm going to put this up to 768 just to give it a bit more headroom so I don't get pops on that. This is what I mean about the CPU usage on the program. I don't have this with any other program. I know it's not my computer. So, you know, certain programs just quite CPU intensive, so. Now, if you're listening on headphones, this is another thing I was talking about with the two amps. So you've got the Pumpkin amp. I was using the Somber Fears amp, all right? Noise gate, the distortion over here. That's my amp settings. and I had some EQ on it and the cab. Okay, so I went with the SM57 cab, and then for the Axonic, I had this distortion, the amp, I didn't have any EQ, and I had the cab with the SM57, and if you notice something, they sound almost exactly the same. Now I know you could do that with most amp sims, but I would have a hard time trying to get, say, Archetype Gojira to sound like Archetype Petrucci. But these are so close. Okay, so that's my tones. Let's have a quick look at the plugins. So you get a tuner, obviously, a gate, noise gate, distortions. You get two types of distortions. That's the actual amp, which honestly I think sound great. Like, I really do. I like the sound of them. So I'm just gonna solo this one by itself, so you can really hear it. And then you got the EQ, which is really good. It's even got a high pass filter and everything, which is really good. So you can like really just cut out the do the high pass and low pass filtering in the actual program. Okay, now I'm going to show you what the problem with the I have with the cab section, which is if I have it in mono, you cannot use this side. Okay, cab mic disabled. Okay, now I can move this around, but if I put it in stereo, it's making it so that there's one on the left and one on the right. It's really weird how it does it, because if I push this over to the, pan this over to the left now, see, I'm only getting the mic on the left. If I pan it over to the right, I'm getting the mic on the right. So as a mono signal, I can't blend the two mics, which I really like to do in all plugins. I like to have two mics. My favorites are obviously, depending on the amp sim, but I like a 121 and a 421 are my favorites. Sometimes an SM57 and a 421 like in here, or a SM57 and a 121. They're my favorite mic combinations. But with this, I can't have those mic combinations on the cab and then have them both panned over to the left. It'll only use the mic on the left when I pan it. So that's a thing that I'd like to see changed if possible, because like I said, if I have this in the center and I play it, you can see how much changing this mic on the right affects the sound, right? You really hear what it's doing. But if I pan it over to the left, changing that mic does nothing. So it's in stereo mode fully, which is, I think, not a good thing for an amp sim to have, because I want to be able to blend these two mics, get my tone, and then pan that tone to the left, if that makes any sense. I mean, that's what pretty much we all do. So that's something I think could be looked at by Groovelab Fx. Other than that, don't get me wrong, like I said, I like the sound of this amp, and if I loaded up some custom IRs, definitely, like, I mean, I haven't tried it, but let's try it right now. So I'll put it in mono mode. So you can see that I'll put it in so let's load a custom IR, see what I got. Hang on, I've got to find my IRs now. Where are they? impulse response amps. Let's go Ola's amp, okay? Ola England, he loaded this up, so. So you can definitely see if you had some really good let's see, Jens Bogrand. So you can see you'd have some really good stuff, but so you've got 3 amps in this. You got the green plant, which is a clean, then a mid crunch, and then a high gain. So same with the Axonic, you have a I'll show you the Axonic tone on its own. I really actually like that. It's got a lot of depth to it. It sounds really good. Like I said, don't get me wrong, they sound amazing. There's just things that I think need to be addressed with the program. Like, so this has got 2 amps. It's got a clean tone amp and a high gain amp as well. And they look great. I reckon that looks probably one of the sickest looking amps I've ever seen. I reckon it looks fantastic. But the other problem that I said I would mention is this problem where, okay, so you can see down here, I have another track here, okay, and this has the Axonic amp on it. Now, you can see it's at default, and there's nothing there. Every time I have to start up, I have to go into here, go into lead, put this on. So I'll show you what I mean. Ready? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here. I'm going to save project. Okay, save project. I'm going to shut this down. Quit. Okay, so I've saved that. Hopefully everything loads up as normal with my OBS, because that's the only problem I might have, but we'll find out in a second. If not, it's easy to fix. Okay, so loading. Hopefully it doesn't make me look like a fool now and work for once, because it wasn't working before. See, it turns it off. And then if I go in here, look, back to default. And I had to go in every single time and turn this abstraction lead preset on. That is an annoying thing. No offense to Groovelab Fx, but that definitely needs to be addressed, because I don't have that problem with any other plugin. Every other plugin saves it exactly what I had in my project, and this could be really irritating if you have a project with a whole bunch of layered leads and all this, and you work on your tone and that, and then you come back in and wiped. So I don't know what the deal is there. Like I said, I don't make plugins, so I don't know if that's something that can be addressed. But so yeah, my main things are the amp, the cab section with the, I'd like to be able to use both mics in mono. So when I can blend mics, create a tone, then I can put that whole tone to one side. Because at the moment, the way it is, you put the tone to one side and you're still only hearing one mic, which is not ideal. And this situation with the the resetting of the presets whenever I load up a project. Other than that, honestly, I think this is a great amp sim. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think Groovelab Fx has a lot of a good future ahead if they can work out some of these niggling little things. CPU usage definitely a thing. When I started to put in too many instances of either the Axonic or the Pumpkin amp, it did start to chug my PC quite a bit. And I don't have a problem with any other plugins. I can have 10 instances easily of Neural DSP or ML Sound Labs products or anything else, and not a problem with my PC. I actually have a really good PC. So those three things definitely need addressing, I think. Other than that, I love the tone. The tone sounds phenomenal. I mean, you can hear how just solid it is. Fantastic. I love the tone. I definitely love the tone. I want to be able to use it more without the niggling little things that I have problems with, because I don't want to have to load up a project every time and go back to my presets and all that sort of stuff and basically rebuild the project every time I load it up. That shouldn't be happening. But other than that, thank you again, Groovelab Fx, for giving me a chance to show off your product. I know I wasn't very nice in some ways, but I pride myself in positive feedback, okay? It's not bashing on a product if you're trying to give positive feedback so the product can be improved. That's my opinion anyway. I think a lot of YouTubers out there, no offense to anybody, but they get a free product and they think they've got to be really nice to the company because the company won't give them a free product in the future or something like that. I honestly don't care about that stuff. If I don't get a free product back, I want to see the company improve. I want to see their products improve, because then in the future I'll want to buy it. You know, that's the thing. If all these things are addressed and they bring out a new product that I think is great, I will then buy the said product. But at this rate, I don't know if I would, because of these problems. I don't want to load up my projects and my presets aren't saved. It's, you know, and stuff like that. So just a few things to think about. And other than that, guys, I hope this has been an informative video. As always, please like and subscribe and enjoy indeed. Thanks, guys.